Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're coming in from, and welcome, ladies that are here celebrating with us this morning. We had some good weeks and some good recaps, and just learning where we're all at going into this new season. I wanted to bring a word to you this morning, and that is carefulness. Put dashes in between there, two L's on the full. Carefulness. And I've really been thinking about this and rolling it around. And so I'm here with you today to bring some things forward and then also um, even just put some legs on this and formulate this even for myself. As you may know, my word of the year this year is steward. And I have an entire like definition and kind of protocol that I'm working on for myself. And then this word carefulness came to mind. And so I wrote down a few definitions that I want to share with you today. The word careful, to care to the fullest, care with the fullest of life, fullness of life, I should say. Full of a care that exceeds expectations. Care that we fully back with presence and intentionality. The kind of great care that God asks for called stewardship. And now we can be careful in so many aspects and areas of our life, our relationships, our finances. In prayerfulness, we can be careful and intentional. In service to others and to ourselves, we can be careful in doing our day-to-day chores, in mothering, in following up with clients. We can be careful in our planning, in creating that rhythm that allows us to grow towards that vision while also just doing the thing. We can be careful in that planning. And then we can also be careful in self-talk and in that internal narrative as we talk to ourselves, as we set ourselves up for success inside of us. We can be careful while making dinner. We can be careful asking for help. We can be careful lending a hand. We can be careful combing our hair or our child's hair. We can be careful to drink water every single day. And how much water we drink every day. And we can be careful to clearly communicate how things need to be done. We can be careful in how we make plans, how we make promises, and how we keep promises. Carefulness is something that we can carry with us as part of our identity, as part of the intentionality and presence that we carry. Maybe we can package it as carefulness. And as part of our identity, we can carry that through, right? But then we can also move it forward into who we are becoming. As we take great care of what's put in front of us and what's given to us and the vision that we are building, we are also becoming. And as we stay in action, carefulness might actually look more gentle than self-care. Like if we go to something we know, right? I first thought of this or had this brought up in some of my writing as I was journaling and then preparing to speak at a sold out convention a couple weeks ago. The carefulness of that week leading up to it. Action was still taken, emails were still sent, updates were still done on websites, follow-up was still taken care of. I was still writing every day, but the openness and the care that I took in all my relationships and all the planning and all the day to day and all those things, the carefulness became the theme of that week. It was also kind of a protection that I put around just knowing, okay, I'm going to be delivering this message. And I just want it to be the perfect thing, right? For that perfect person. And so then it became, in a lot of ways, prayerfulness. But as you're growing and as you're building up towards something, it's all the things I listed. It's your internal narrative. It's planning. I made sure my next week was just as full as the week before, to keep that going. And sometimes as we grow, we come up against obstacles. But when we meet them with care, with that fully backing of presence and intentionality, it becomes softer. It doesn't become this rigid thing. It becomes cared for. And so carefulness is not permission to not, right? To like shut everything else off. It's a calling to be in full care of what your plan is, what your vision is, and what's put in front of you, right? Like what you have coming up next. And so I want to give that to you today and ask, how can I be more careful? Is there an area in life or business that is asking for more care? Is there something you've set aside that needs some stewardship to be brought back to life? Or did you set it aside and not fold it and put it back in the closet? Right? Like we're done with you, right? But in a careful way. So we're going to go into our discussion here and we're going to see what came up for us. What needs careful attention? And maybe some action steps. What does that look like for you? What kind of presence and intentionality can you gear towards that to give it the care that it needs so that it can serve the purpose it needs to serve, so that you can serve the purpose you need to serve? All right. I've been looking at my notes a lot. I'm poring over this, and I have some of these questions answered for myself as well. And so I'm giving these to you today. So with that, we're going to go into our live discussion and see where it lands. All right. Talk soon.